Close to 1,000 farmers check off a major crop summit from their to-do list. Governor Gretchen Whitmer delivers her second State of the State address, and Michigan Agricultural Commodities Chris Betts will join us with a market update. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
Over 1,000 farmers were in Mount Pleasant this week for the 2020 Great Lakes Crop Summit. This is the 7th year for the summit, which is a joint convention and trade show for the state's corn, soybean, and wheat checkoffs.
There's really no other event in Michigan like this. We bring together agribusiness from a booth standpoint so that you can work with your ag retailers or your lenders. You can meet them here and still also have the opportunity for agronomic learning, financial learning. We've offered different tracks and the ability to really appeal to any size farmer, any commodity, within the corn, soybean, and wheat family.
Following one of the wettest, most challenging years on record for Michigan farmers, many in attendance at the summit say weather is their chief concern in 2020.
The weather definitely affects our income, how much money we have to spend on a lot of inputs, and so usually the thing I'm most concerned about is having a profitable year. Well, and the weather is probably the most influential factor.
So, what will this spring bring? The summit's keynote speaker says it may not be all that different from last year, and weather patterns like we experienced in 2019 are likely the new normal.
Well, I think, again, a late start if you're going into April, okay? But I think it's going to snap to a warmer than normal summer and near to below normal precipitation, and I think it's better overall than last year, put it that way. I do think so until such time that the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Atlantic cool down. I think that there's extra water vapor in the air. It means your nighttime lows are generally higher, but the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere haven't been warming. So what that does is it creates more instability. More instability means more rain, and that's what I think you're seeing happen. I think water vapor is the big kahuna as far as what drives the weather and climate.
If you want a car from a company that's been building them for 115 years, get a Ford. If you want a car with driver assist technology, get a Ford. You're gonna want a Ford.
President Donald Trump signed the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, into law this week. Mexico has already given the deal the green light, leaving our neighbors to the north as the last country to sign off on the trade pact. That is expected to happen in April. USMCA, an update to the 25-year-old North American Free Trade Agreement, is expected to be a boon for dairy farmers in Michigan and across the country, as it will open up Canada's dairy market to milk, cheese, cream, and butter produced in the United States. Governor Gretchen Whitmer delivered her second State of the State address in Lansing Wednesday, putting roads, education, jobs, and health care atop her priority list. The first order of business, according to the governor, is to have the State Transportation Commission issue more than $3 billion in road bonds to start fixing the state's crumbling roads and bridges ASAP. She also touched on water quality and climate change, but opted to save details on those critical issues to Michigan agriculture for another day.
Water is one of Michigan's greatest and most urgent challenges because it touches nearly every aspect of our lives. Recent headlines about PFAS and Great Lakes record water levels and their impact on tourism and agriculture and infrastructure speak to the magnitude of the urgency of the challenge ahead. You'll hear a lot more about this in the coming weeks. Tonight, I'm going to focus on roads, education, jobs, and healthcare.
Start the new decade on solid ground. Foster Swift's Ag Law Group offers comprehensive legal services for producers and agribusinesses. Learn more at fosterswift.com.
Registration is now open for the state's Great Lakes Hop and Barley Conference. The annual event, on tap for March 5th through the 7th, is designed for both growers and brewers and will feature separate educational tracks for barley and hop growers. To learn more about the event and see the draft agenda, visit the registration website at events.anr.msu.edu. And now with a look at the latest market activity, here is Michigan Ag Commodities' Chris Betts.
Thanks, Chanel. The coronavirus dominated headlines this week, which has weighed on commodities. Equity markets across the board have been shaken, but commodities have been the worst for wear. The scare puts in question Chinese manufacturing and logistics as the country comes out of holiday. The World Health Organization declared the coronavirus a global health emergency, but also praised China for their mobilization in controlling the spread of the virus. Over 9,500 have been infected and 213 killed in China. 18 other countries have reported cases, including the U.S. In a broader sense, the coronavirus has not impacted global food demand, but just adds another layer of doubt of China's ability to reach its ag purchasing targets agreed upon in the Phase 1 trade deal. For more market information, go to michag.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betts.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.